What up, guys? I'm Tony Turbo 13 and welcome back to the channel. I'm back again with yet another quick game review. What game am I going to be talking about this time? Well, none other than Conan Exiles. So let's talk about the good, bad, and the ugly regarding Conan Exiles. Like I was saying, Conan Exiles. I'll tell you, when I first heard about it, I immediately remembered the comic book character that goes by the same name. And also, for those of you that were around back then, you guys remember the two popular movies that came out back, I think it was like in the 80s. Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. After all, Conan was a pretty cool character back in the day. He was pretty popular as well in the comic books, and again, because of those movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he portrayed that character very, very well in those two movies. Again, for those of y'all that remember that. If you haven't checked out those movies, hey, look them up. They're pretty good. For the time, the movies were pretty cool. Like I said, they had a pretty solid storyline, and the special effects and the action scenes, they were pretty good. Again, taking into consideration, the time when those movies were actually filmed. The comics were also pretty good. A lot of y'all know that I used to read a lot of comic books when I was a kid. So I automatically assumed, if I enjoyed those movies and those comic books as a kid, I'm probably gonna like this game, right? Wrong. To be fair, I don't hate the game, and I'm not saying that it's a bad game either. All right, so I'm not saying that. All right. My main issue with this game was the lack of instruction. I mean, the game starts you off main character that you have to create, by the way, and that's actually a pretty cool feature in the game. Your main character, he's crucified to a cross out in the middle of a scorching desert. Some guy comes up on you. I'm assuming he's Conan because he looks like the Conan character. He gets you off the cross. He gives you this motivational speech on how you've been given a second chance at life. He pretty much saves your life. All right. Then dude disappears, leaves you nearly butt naked out in the middle of the desert, and you got to fend for yourself. Okay, cool. I can deal with all that. You know how most games give you quick hints as far as how to perform certain actions with your controller, a sense of direction, maybe in the form of a map or a GPS. Well, this game does that, but it doesn't do it well. The map, upon first glance, is completely useless. All right, there's rocks and sticks and branches all over the place, and there's a lot of sand. Again, it takes place out in the middle of the desert initially when the game starts. That's pretty much it. I understand the game is about exploration and survival, but come on, really? I mean, the chances of you surviving in this game without knowing what to do are pretty much very on par with how you would actually survive in the desert given what you're given in this game. Pretty much your chances are slim to none, to be honest with you. It took me, without a lie, no exaggerations, it took me nearly the entire first session of gameplay, and we're talking a few hours worth when I was live streaming it for the very first time, just to figure out that I had to create tools and weapons from the rocks and branches and grass fiber that seemed to be all over the place. I had a viewer that was actually checking out the live stream on Mixer, if I remember correctly, and she seemed to know a lot about the game, and she guided me as far as what I had to do, how to create create different weapons and tools, and how to get the guy clothed, everything, how to protect himself from the sun. It was crazy because the game does not hint you as far as what it is that you got to do. You really got to think outside the box, but honestly, I think it's a little unfair for those players that are not used to these type of RPGs. They're lost, and again, I don't like RPGs too much, so that I was like, okay, now what do I do? If it wasn't for that viewer that was watching, honestly, I would have been probably the whole session just butt naked, running around, in the game, not knowing what to do, because the game does not help you at all whatsoever. Once I started seeing what it is that I had to do, slowly but surely, I started figuring things out. Well, kind of. All right. After about a week of playing it, I really didn't achieve much or accomplish anything in the game. Just a few things here and there, nothing crazy. So I didn't get to see the majority of the game. In my opinion, the gameplay is pretty slow paced. That's not necessarily a bad thing if you're into these type of games, especially you RPG players. But it just really isn't my cup of tea. It really isn't. To be fair, the game has pretty good graphics and sounds. The scenarios and a lot of the scenery, especially like the desert and the bodies of water that you eventually come across, they're pretty nice and they resemble real life ones, and they really do. I also like that you have to put some thought into a lot of the things that you have to do, if you want to survive, that is. But that's also what makes this game a very slow-paced game. You really got to think out your moves and take into consideration your elements and everything around you. At certain times, though, it is a little unfair. Honestly, if you're not experienced in these type of games, the game can get overwhelming pretty quickly, or even boring, to say the least. Honestly, now that I think about it, this is the type of game that you have to invest a lot of time into, and again, that's not a bad thing. It's definitely an RPG in my book. It's an RPG, which is probably why I didn't like it so much. As many of you know, I say it, I'm not big into RPGs. I never have been. I had some moments in the game though, which I had a little bit of fun in there. Like when I was killing some of the animals, which eventually you have to chop them up and cook them up if you wanna survive and eat. Then I came across different types of animals, so I did that to them. Not initially. A lot of them, before I figured out how to use the weapons, I was getting slaughtered, to be honest with you. And also, you have to attack yourself. You have to defend yourself when you got to attack certain barbarians that you see. You might be able to loot their equipment or their weapons. Or sometimes you just have to defend themselves because they will attack you on sight. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you what I mean. How many crocs are there? Oh shit, I was spotted. Only one of them. Oh shit, there's two of them. Oh my god. Whoa, homie. I'll eat some gator. Don't fuck with me. Oh, this asshole. Really? The fuck's this guy's problem? I'll have to chop his ass up and eat him too. Punk motherfucker. Excuse my language, guys. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that the game has a good number of glitches in it. And it's just me nitpicking. I got it. Every game has its fair share of glitches, I know. So if you're gonna say it, I got it. But it's true, every game has glitches. But this one had a few glitches that actually made the game a little unplayable, or actually downright confusing. It affected the gameplay, especially when I was trying to do something in the game. For example, I was trying to kill a crocodile, right? And for some reason, the croc kept glitch teleporting. So he would be in front of me, like, I'm about to kill him, and then he would glitch teleport a few feet away, and it would just kept going on, and you could tell it was a glitch. It wasn't intentional in the game. It was a glitch. It got very annoying. It completely threw off my gameplay as far as what I was gonna do, because I had to like chase around this glitching alligator or a crocodile, whatever it was. Again, it just threw me completely off track of what I was doing. So again, be mindful of things like that. But again, I know every game has its fair share of glitches, but this one has a few that makes it unplayable. Not unplayable, but you know what I mean. Overall, the game is not a bad game. Honestly, it isn't. If you enjoy RPGs, you'll probably like Conan Exiles. That is, if you can tolerate the repetitive gameplay, the overwhelming sense of being lost, and the glitches that are in this game. I'll tell you, did I like it? No, I did not. I did not like this game. It's just not my type of game. And for that reason, and that reason alone, and again, I'm basing it off of my own personal gameplay experience and my own personal taste in games, I'll have to give Conan Exiles a thumbs down. And I know there are a lot of gamers out there that enjoy RPGs and also fans of this specific game. Let me know what you guys think. If you disagree, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I would love to to read some of your comments and what you actually think about this game. Well, with all that being said, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this quick review. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks for coming by. Catch y'all during the next live stream on the next review. Later.